Hello and welcome to our thought for today. As today is St. Patrick's Day, I thought that I would just read to you a little bit about his life and then read from one of his last works, which is his Confession. So here we go. Sir Patrick was born somewhere on the west coast of Britain around the year 390. And he was captured by Irish raiders when he was about 16 years old and taken to Ireland as a slave. After 6 years, he escaped and seems to have gone then to the continent. He eventually found his way back to his own family, where his previously nominal Christian faith grew and matured. He returned to Gaul and was there trained as a priest, and he was much influenced by the form of monasticism that was evolving at that time under Martin of Tours. When he was in his early 40s, it seems that he returned to Ireland as a bishop and made his base at Armagh, which became the centre of his see. He evangelized the people of the land by walking all over the island, gently bringing men and women to a knowledge of Christ. And although he faced fierce opposition and possible persecution, he continued with his missionary journeys. Despite being unsuccessful in his attempts to establish the diocesan system that he had experienced in Gaul, his monastic foundations proved to be the infrastructure required to maintain the faith after his death, which occurred on this day in the year 460. And so now reading from his Confession. I was taken captive to Ireland when I was about 16 years old, together with many thousands of others. At that time, I did not know the true God. There I sought him, and there I found him. I am convinced that God protected me from all evil through his Spirit who lives and works in me to this very day. Therefore, I give thanks to my God unceasingly, who has kept me faithful in times of trial, so that today I offer sacrifice to him confidently, the living sacrifice of my life to Christ my Lord, who has sustained me in all my difficulties. And so I say, who am I, Lord? And what is my calling that you should cooperate with me with such a display of divine power? Today, in the midst of heathen peoples, I exalt and magnify your name in all places, not only when things are going well, but also when I am under pressure. Whether I receive good or ill, I always render thanks to God, who taught me to trust him unreservedly. His answer to my prayer inspired me in these latter days to undertake this holy and admirable work, in spite of my ignorance, and to imitate those who, as the Lord had foretold, would preach the gospel to all the nations before the end of the world. We have seen it. It has happened. We are indeed witnesses that the gospel has been preached in remote areas, in places beyond which no one has ventured. How did I come by this wisdom which was not my own? I who knew neither how my life would unfold, nor the wisdom of God. What was the source of the gift I was to receive later in my life, the wonderful and rewarding gift of knowing and loving God, even though it meant leaving my homeland and family? It was the overpowering grace of God at work in me, and no virtue of my own, which enabled all these things. I came to the Irish heathen to preach the gospel. I had to endure insults from unbelievers. I have heard my mission ridiculed. I have experienced persecution to the point of imprisonment. I have given up my freeborn status for the good of others. Should I be worthy, I am even ready to surrender my life promptly and gladly for his name. And it is here in Ireland that I wish to spend my remaining days, if the Lord permits me. In all this, I am in debt to God, who has given me an abundance of grace, with the result that through me many people have been born again in God and later confirmed, and that clergy have been ordained everywhere. All this was for a people newly come to faith, whom the Lord has called from the ends of the earth, as he foretold through his prophets. To you, the nations will come from the ends of the earth and will say, how false are our idols, which our ancestors made for themselves, and how useless they are. And again, I have made you a light for the nations, so that you will bring salvation to the ends of the earth. So a very happy St. Patrick's Day to you all, and do raise a glass of the black stuff to him. Till the next time, goodbye.